Ogle Veil, the touch of death. Many fearsome creatures roam the Underworld, but none inspire terror as Ogle Veil does. His sombre passage renders other sounds as they fall under his relentless gaze, knowing their cry must have been weighed. To be judged by the executioner is to be punished if a crime of consequence has been committed, for he is an entity without mercy. This does not mean that Ogle Veil lacks compassion. He is always cognizant of the pain he has caused, using this knowledge to better understand those he has executed. When death created him, Ogle Veil was imbued with one simple truth. For chaos and order to balance each other, there must be repercussions for every action. And so the law was made manifest in this one melancholy being, alone among the residents of the Underworld, unable to ever change his path or relinquish his duties. Hello all. Yes, it's Alex again, back with another review. And we are back in the Court of the Dead. And that was another small reading from the Chronicles of the Underworld book, which I heartily recommend to anyone. That was an entry on Ogle Veil, who we can see here. There is another entry for Ogle Veil, so I just want to read that as well, if I can ever find it. Here we go, spirits. Oglavaeil, the executioner. Oglavaeil is one of the Underworld's most feared citizens, but within his own faction he is not reviled, for spirit makes no judgment as to worth. Annihilation in our realm is not undertaken lightly. There is no resurrection afterward, not even as a slave in heaven or hell. No normal blade can perform such an act, and so Oglavaeil's weapons are unique throughout all the realms. His twin blades sing with etheria, but they do not absorb what they cut free. Instead, they utterly destroy it. In the wrong hands, such swords would quickly corrupt the bearer, but Oglavaeil seems impervious to temptation. Still, the burden weighs heavily upon him. Although his nature is both empathetic and inquisitive, he has never proven unequal to the task. And again, that was from the Chronicle of the Underworld. There's the entrance for Oglavaeil, as you can see. Like I say, really highly recommend this book. It's like a Bible to me at the moment. And we'll have lighting back. So yes, this is Oglavaeil from the Court of the Dead by Sideshow Collectibles. It's a 1/4 scale premium format. And also, we have Skratch. So we'll do a quick look at Skratch first. So Skratch is the Executioner's Hound. I don't know if there's anything in the book about him, not that I'm sure of, but so when Sideshow sold this, I think this is the first one that they did this with. It might have been Lobo, but you know, Lobo was the main statue. Then if you wanted Dog, you bought Dog separately, and then Dog came with his own base, but you could take him off his base and put it onto Lobo's. So Sideshow did a similar thing with this, where Ogle Veil himself is $599, and then Skratch was another $150. So we're talking a $750 statue here for the pair. That's Skratch. He's got his own little theme base. Paintwork is immaculate. People had a lot of trouble with Gethsemane's paintwork when that first came out, but Sideshow seemed to have stepped up the game. So the back is just more brickwork, so it matches up with Oglavaeil's. Oh no, I've put it on the cloth. There we go. So as you can see, we've got all this kind of just neutral brickwork and then skulls carry on. So if you buy Oglavaeil on his own, that's what you'll get. So they've kind of, you know, they've took a chunk of the base off and left it plain. There's no removable pieces because the rest of the base has got the skulls around it. So the only way to get the rest of the skulls is to have Skratch. So that's how Skratch sits, and it makes up the rest of the base. And all the base lines up perfectly. Wow, there we go. Oh, actually. So that's Skratch. Skratch is a fine piece. I think when you see the details on the actual statue and you know how much Skratch, you know, Skratch's reference, he's the Executioner's Hound. I think he's even on the base of Red Death, I can't remember. But you know, he is quite an important character. For 150 bucks, I don't know. Nice heavy base, but I don't know if I could say it's totally worth it. I love it because I got quite a good deal with Skratch in with Ogle Veil, so it was like, well, if I'm going to get them, I'll get them properly and do it properly. Let's get onto Ogle Veil a bit, the Executioner. Like I say, the base is very similar to Skratch, got all his runes, all his carvings. We're going to pull him forward slightly so we can get a turn on. This is a huge statue. Actually, no. As you can see, he's so big. A, I'm having trouble getting him in frame, and B, you're not getting any lighting underneath. So, just while we're here, so let's underlight him, which always looks fucking fantastic with these pieces. So he's got all these small tendrils and arms here, and now what you can't see is these are his legs. You can't see because I haven't got the camera in there. These are his legs. There's one there. You've got all this here, and then there's one right at the back of there. So basically, he's floating. When I spin it around in a minute, you'll kind of see what I mean. So all this is material. This is actually on him. Very firm wires in it can be, shaped however you want. And this chain sits on the actual over the body, because this actually comes in a couple of pieces. So the torso is actually separate from the main body. The main body is actually just on the base, which I'll get to in a moment. Is that fully on? There we go. It's alright, it's shadows playing tricks on me. Damn shadows. So yeah, this front armour here is just on chains, just slips over, and the actual main body goes on top. This is where my little room is not benefiting me. So as you can see, here, this cloak is fucking huge. Let's take off this sword. I'm going to kind of destruct him. I'm not going to destruct him, I'm going to deconstruct him. So these are the blades. Exquisitely sculpted. The detail is fantastic. And then, as you can see on the picture there, you've got Ogle Veil, Skratch, and obviously I'm going to cast judgment on all these people. As you can see, the long flowing skirt there and his ickle legs. This sword actually just slots in. I'm just going to leave it off so it's easy to actually spin. This huge cloak attaches in 3 places, which I'm also going to take off just so we can get to the body of it. It comes off here. It comes off here. And as you can see, we're covering all this detail up with this cloth. I would not be surprised if people display it without it. And then you've got look at this. We were on about how big the Red Death one was. This is huge, and we've got like weathering and texturing. It's all been ripped and torn at the bottom where it's dragged. On one side, we've got this amazing texture. It's like, you can see the stitching in it and the work. But Sideshow, stuff like this, they just bang it out the park. So as you can see now on his back, we've got all this detail. It's covered by that mixed media. All this is mixed media, all these straps. Got these fantastic, I'm guessing that's Death or one of the Reapers, but it has got breasts, female Reaper, confirmed. All this amazing sculpt work. And as we come back down, so this is part of that part that goes around the waist. This is all sculpt. So this is like the rest of his cloak. Now as you can see here, there's the sole of one of his feet, which are like baby feet. So what you've got is this effect where the cloak's actually on the base, but neither of his feet are touching. My lazy Susan not doing its fucking job. lighting back down here. So as you can see, you've got these. Oh, there's so much material going on. There's one leg and one foot there, which is like all clawed and deformed. And we've got the other foot, so it's like he's literally floating forward. It's a really weird thing. I don't think people notice that when they see it. They just think, oh, he's standing up. He's he's a big bruiser of a character. He's got these huge legs, but he hasn't. He's like kind of slightly deformed. And here, all this material's really, really well done. Look at the stitching on it. Look at the detail. It's got like textured edges in layers, one down each side and one down the middle. It's just details for days on this guy. And then coming round, you've got the face with these piercing like neon blue eyes. Now this is where the glow effect that was on Green Lantern, and I was like, I'm not a fan, it doesn't work. It really works on this face. The eyes are piercing. I think it's because they've put so much like neon blue and then the big dot of white in the middle. So even on camera now you can see the eyes pushing through. And then on the other side we've got another sword, same detail on that one. And this one's actually on magnet, quite strong magnet. So as you can see there's a bit of his shoulder cut out there, and that's where the magnet is. And then you can see here on the sword there, there's another magnet buried, and then there's a magnet in the end here. So that literally sits in his hand, and then that one, there you go, and that sits really solid. It's a superb piece. This was the one after Oglavaeil. This is Oglavaeil. After the Red Death of Arcus, this was the one that I wanted. And the price was ridiculous. Like I say, it's $600. I think there was 1,500 of these, maybe 1,000. And no, it wasn't sky high, because I think they know the guys like this aren't going to sell as well as the skimpy ladies. But to me, this was like one of the pieces that I wanted immediately. And it's very surprising. It's very different in hand. It's a big statue. It fits in a Besta without the door on if you're using Skratch. It will fit in a Besta with the door on if you're not using Skratch. But he's really cramped in there. I am going to attempt to measure. So to the top of his sword is just over 25 inches. So you've got to move a shelf up anyway, so it won't fit in a doored unit standard because of that sword. And then because of his width and depth, it's just really cramped in there, so I've actually got him out at the moment on a side unit, and he looks far better for it. And you can display Skratch where he's meant to go in front. I've seen a lot of people displaying, pushing Ogle Veil into a Besta, and then putting Skratch with someone. Well, it's not really meant to go like that, it's meant to be displayed together. I don't see the point of having Skratch if you're not going to display them together. It's the Executioner's Hound, and the bases match up so fantastically. But yeah, he's such a big statue. As you can see, my lighting hasn't done a fantastic job, but I think you get the gist. With the cloak on, the cloak just makes it look even bigger. This huge flowing cloak. And I just love the story of Oglavaeil, this kind of, sad, doesn't really care what he's doing, like I say, this melancholy character that, kills and no real feelings towards either. It's just, again, it appeals to me, and the whole Court of the Deadline appeals to me. So those are the three pieces I've got so far. We've got Gethsemane, Queen of the Dead, of Arcus, the Red Death, and Oglavaeil, the Executioner, with Skratch the Hund. like I said in the last video, there's other pieces out there. None really take my fancy. The only one that did was Kia, and I said about that they are releasing a new Kia. Next up is Death. Now, oh right, yes, of course there was. What's his name? So Sideshow did an original called the Reaper. It was a 1/3 scale. Well, then it was a 1/3 scale statue, and it was $1,000. And they did 300 of them, and it was like this amazing Grim Reaper statue. And I really wanted it at the time, and for whatever reason I just didn't have the money, and I missed it. So they actually used that sculpt again, took away some of the extras, redid the base so it looks more like a Court of the Dead base, giving the name of Oglavaeil, and made him a Reaper General. So this is a huge, like 30-inch statue of this Reaper General. It looks amazing. It's $1,000. It is on my to-get list. It's definitely one of the standout pieces for me. But then we've also got Death himself coming. So Death was one of the first ones shown as well. At a couple of Comic-Cons, they showed a huge amount of Court of the Dead things, and Death was one of the ones that instantly grabbed me. I mean, you know, it is his court. So if you can't not have Death. So he is currently on payment plan, due to be delivered at the end of this year, beginning of next year. So I'm very excited. Again, huge statue, 30 plus inches, amazing looking base. I mean, I really hope Sideshow knock it out of the park. I've got the exclusive version coming, which comes with a switch out head, which both heads are really nice. Both, you know, give completely different. Well worth having. I think the exclusive on that was 500. So a lot lower than usual for an exclusive. I think that's the first Court of the Dead piece to have an exclusive as well. I know Kia came separate head with 2 different heads, and yeah, I think that Kia was the only one that came with extras. And you know, no other statues had exclusives. Yeah, there's also Shard, Mortal Trespasser, which is very, very nice. But the only problem I've seen with that is Sideshow seems to be cocking up the eyes. So we've got a few googly eyes on Shard, so waiting for them to be in hand that I can kind of look at, see if I can live with the eyes, and you know, go over the price on that. But yeah, plenty coming, plenty more to come. I may do a flick through of the book, because there's a lot of cool stuff in the book that's hopefully coming, so I might do a flick through the book. We'll do an Alex reads with, or maybe not reads, maybe more looks at the pictures. Yeah, but Court of the Dead, if you're interested, like I say, grab the book and get stuck in there. And Ogle Veil is a fantastic piece. Is he worth the $750 of Skratch? Probably not. He was to me. I got him for a lot cheaper. I paid $500 shipped for the pair, which today's going is pretty decent. I think that's what he's averaging out at. I mean, if you're buying brand new, you're probably talking $600 for Ogle Veil without Skratch. So, you know, if you can drop on him for around that price for the pair, you know, I'm thinking 100 for Skratch, 400 for Ogle Veil. 400, he's very much worth 400 quid. Very much worth it. A lot of statue, a lot of detail, and a lot of work gone into it for that price. So there you go, guys. That's the third Court of the Dead piece. Hopefully I'll pick up Shard in the meantime. If not, we'll be back with Death. And hopefully I might do a flip through the book. I'm really, really digging that. So if I can get set up where I can flip through the book and you guys can have a look, only, you know, 5-10 minute video, nothing long, just me talking, rubbish as usual, but all about the Court of the Dead. So there you go. Thanks for watching, everyone, all 10 of you. Thanks for watching, and see you soon. Bye.